I'm most interested in seeing how Danny Boy does against this Bears secondary, which is still very good. I also want to see how our O-line holds up versus Khalil Mack, but we have a weak point at right tackle that he will probably just go after the whole game. Trubisky is going to do some real stupid stuff or get benched or is already benched. Giants lose on a come-from-behind victory by Chase Daniel, igniting a debate for the next week of football and ending Trubisky's stint with the Bears. Bears 32, Giants 31. Crazy, Jared. That's not happening. The Bears are totally invested in Mitch Trubisky. Did
he say 32 to 31?
That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
The kid is out of control. The Bears have 32 points. Oh, my God, Jared.
That would be double what the Bears average per game currently. So good luck with that.
The guy thinks like 63 total points. Like, Jared, oh, my God. We have to have a talk.
By the way, according to the weather report, weather is fine in Buffalo. It'll be chilly, 41, but partly cloudy. The Bears, 44 and partly cloudy. And now we move to Cincinnati, where I haven't checked the weather yet. But does it really matter? They're 0-10. The Steelers are 5-5. The Steelers have owned the Bengals for years now, winners of their last 8. But it's Mason Rudolph versus Ryan Finley, which I'll say is a wash. I'll just go with the better defense. Pittsburgh +9 takeaways. Giveaway ratio. Bengals are -11 with only 9 takeaways so far this season. I would say we're all going with the Steelers, but if you want to laugh again, Kevin, Neil has called the Cincinnati upset.
Is Neil present with us?
He's not. I was just saying, I was giving you an opportunity to, take a shot at Neil, especially since he's not here to defend himself.
I wasn't sure if he was here. Yeah, Neil, per usual, you're wrong. I mean, the Bengals, Andy, have absolutely sabotaged your tank. I'm very sorry, but
crazy
yeah.
Crazy how that. And by the way, we play the Jets again, who we've already beaten, and we play the Giants. Like, that's scary too. Although we play the Bengals, that's going to be. We need to lose to the Bengals head to head. I mean, that's going to be the tankathon. My worry is that when we play the Bengals, it's not going to matter because they're going to maintain a 2-game tank lead. That's my worry.
Speaking of the Bengals, is AJ Green coming back this year or no?
I don't think so.
Well, then they better resign him, or else I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but like, let's be honest. The Bengals' rush defense is horrendous. They allow like 170 yards per game. Ryan, whatever his name is, their quarterback, he absolutely looked horrible last week. Joe Mixon, I feel bad for him because he's super talented, but he's been stuck behind this crap offensive line for 3 years now, playing with no offensive weapons. I mean, when your biggest offensive weapon is Auden Tate on the outside and what's his face, Tyler Boyd, who's an average player, you have problems. But mainly, the Steelers are probably going to run all over them like every other team does. Jalen Samuels probably have like 8 receptions because I don't think James Conner is going to play. But, yeah, a horrible, probably more boring than the Falcons-Bucks game. But this game is meaningless. Neither of these teams are going to make the playoffs.
James Conner on the injury report did not participate in practice, nor did Vance McDonald, the tight end. Juju Smith-Schuster also did not participate in practice. Nick Vannett did not participate in practice. Let's see here. That's it for the guys that did not participate in practice that you need to be concerned with. On the Bengals side, the Bengals are done. Gene Atkins, Darqueze Dennard, Tyler Eifert, AJ Green, Stanley Morgan, Drew Sample, Auden Tate, all of them did not participate in practice. Limited in practice were guard Billy Price and safety Sean Williams. It's over. Sorry, Andy. The Bengals will be having the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
Over. It's over. It's terrible, but it's over.
Weather in Cincinnati will be 47 and partly cloudy.
We still need to lose. There's still value.
That's beautiful for Cincinnati.
Instead of 5th overall, so we still need to lose. To lose. It's not like the tank is over. Like, it's not. No.
Well, It's time for you to talk about your tanking Dolphins because we've reached that game. The Dolphins 2-8, Cleveland Browns 4-6. The Dolphins are 30th in the power rankings. The Browns are 25th. The Browns are favored by 10.5 points. I think that's way too high. Way too high. Baker has been more cautious with the ball the last few weeks. 5 touchdowns, no picks in his past 3. Aims for his 4th in a row with a 90-plus rating, but it's the Dolphins. I'm locking them in. James, who's not here, is locking them in. We're all taking the Cleveland Browns, Andy.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns too. This is not a game that I'm afraid of us winning. It's not. As bad as Cleveland's been at some points this year, and I still am high on Baker Mayfield, but I'm open-minded that I could be wrong about him, just like I was definitely wrong about Lamar Jackson. I could be wrong about Baker Mayfield. He might not be good. I mean, this idea that it's all Kitchen's fault, maybe it is. Maybe he's that bad, but I don't know. But it's not going to matter this game. Obviously, Cleveland's going to win. The 10 points, 10 is about right. I think Vegas is so good. It's amazing how good they are.
Do you know why Ryan Fitzpatrick was limited in practice?
Oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to play. No, I don't know why he's limited, but he's playing. Okay. Oh, that would be great if Rosen plays on the road. Get another look at him. Frick it. Why not? I'd welcome Rosen for a number of reasons, but for tanking reasons certainly. But yeah, that'd be great if Rosen could play, but he's not going to. It's going to be Patrick, obviously.
That was the only reason why I've said that the Dolphins injury report is now irrelevant from here until the end of the season. But I had to bring up Ryan Fitzpatrick being limited. There's not a single Dolphin that missed practice. Not a single participant was listed as out of practice. Just limited participants.
The Dolphins, by the way, week. So Mark Walton, unfortunately, was punched a pregnant woman, which is terrible. So we had to relieve him of his duties immediately. So Mark Walton, who was a little fantasy player, and a nifty NFL player, he was a find. And this is what happens sometimes when you take character concerns. This idea that he's a 20-year-old kid, he'll grow out of it. Well, if he still does that at 23 and 24 and 25, this was Mark Walton's 4th chance. So we cut him. So that sucks in a number of levels. And in addition to that, we put Rashad Jones on IR, which is fine. Rashad wasn't playing. But it's going to be interesting what we do with Rashad because he's $4 million against the Cat next year, and Brian Flores really likes him. And if the idea is to be competitive immediately next year, then probably makes sense. But anyway, yeah, I mean, as far as our injury report, we might not have any players on the injury report, but we have a lot of players in IR / suspended / just completely defunct from the organization.
Eric Murray and Olivier Vernon did not participate in practice for the Browns. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and Joel Bitonio were limited in practice this week. I would expect they're all going to play.
Former friends of the Dolphins.
Good. It was good.
Cleveland is 40 and partly cloudy this Sunday. There you go.
It was beautiful.
It's too bad that Neil is no longer on the show. I almost said no longer with us, but that would be the wrong way to put that.
Is he punching pregnant women as well? Jesus.
I hope not. My goodness. The Detroit Lions are 3-6-1. The Washington Redskins are 1-9. By the way, they would also be throwing a curveball to your whole tanking plan there, Andy. The Lions 21st in the power rankings. Redskins 31st. The Lions favored by 3.5 points in this particular game. I've called this the ugliest game of the week. Jeff Driscoll versus Dwayne Haskins. Lions have won their past 4 versus Washington, and the Redskins really suck. I mean, quite honestly, I think we could lock in the Lions on this, except James thinks that the Redskins could win this game.
No. Dwayne Haskins is an absolute – it's just not good.
I'm excited for this game because I want to see Haskins. I want to see Haskins against a terrible pass defense where he should eat. So to that end, I'm actually very excited for this game from a Redskins perspective because I want to see Haskins in a situation where everyone else has succeeded. It's going to be interesting and illuminating. It's going to be great.
And Darius Geis is exciting as well. His second game back.
Yeah.
Who's second back?
Yeah, because he was hurt and after 3 snaps in week 1. He just came back last week. Had a 45-yard screen for a touchdown. Hopefully he gets more playing time this week because he's my flex.
Right.
Gorgeous weather, 52 and mostly sunny in Washington, D.C. this Sunday. Josh, the Lions superfan, writes in that the Lions don't rush the passer at all, so that cancels out the bad O-line they're playing against. They can't cover with their linebackers, making it harder for our beat-up secondary to do their job. The offense will likely sputter with Jeff Driscoll starting again, but Washington is starting Haskins, so in comparison, he won't look as bad. Or maybe Haskins breaks out. It's possible. I expect both teams to run it quite a bit to hide their quarterbacks, and this game will zoom by and no one will care. Our practice squad running backs will get some volume. Washington has better running backs, though. This will probably be the worst game of the week to watch from an entertainment perspective, aside from some red zone clips I won't be watching. But hey, we might win this week. Detroit 23, Washington 16. Neil wrote some very good points, Josh. Washington may be with Payne and Allen from the D-line, which will hinder the best unit of our team. Maybe Sweat continues his slow but steady progress. Hey, that's all Old Spice's fault, trying to eliminate Sweat from the NFL. The secondary keeps blowing assignments, though, and that's hard to overcome. Yes, spot on with the run-heavy game. This one could be over in a couple hours. Terrible-looking game on paper, and definitely a Sunday for Red Zone. 4 quarters of bargain basement football starts now. We go now to Washington versus Detroit on the crap box. Well, there you go. So even the super fans can't even get excited for this game
over there.
That is horrendous. Let's see here. Injury
Jeff Driscoll
report.
Actually looked. I mean, this has more to say about the Cowboys, but Jeff Driscoll looked pretty good last week. Had 300 freaking yards and 3 total touchdowns. For goodness sake.
Oh, yeah, I saw that game a little bit.
Is Matthew Stafford's first name really John?
No, definitely not.
Well, according to the NFL injury report that I'm looking at, John Stafford did not participate in practice.
Definitely not his real name. What would John to Matthew? That would make no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Frank Ragnow, Sam Martin, the punter, Deshaun Hand, Trey Flowers, Jamal Agnew all did not participate in practice as well for the Lions. On the Redskins side of the ball, let's see here. Adrian Peterson, Deron Payne, and Jonathan Allen did not participate in practice. Limited participants were Vernon Davis, Paul Richardson, and Christopher Thompson, also known as Chris Thompson to most people. There you go. Terry McLaurin was a full participant in practice. Scary Terry continues to tear it up.
Oh, he is so good. I enjoy watching. He's just great.
The 6-4 Oakland Raiders travel West Coast to the East Coast for a 1:00 kickoff against the New York Jets, who are 3-7. The Raiders have moved up to 14th in the power rankings, and the Jets are 28th. The Raiders are favored by 3 in this particular game. Derek Carr, 9 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions in 4 road games this year, has 9 passing touchdowns with no interceptions in 3 career games versus the Jets. Just like the Dolphins screwed up their tanking, the Raiders are screwing up their 8-8 season. I would say we're all taking the Raiders, except Neil decided he likes the Jets better. But James, who has just joined us, has picked the Raiders as one of his many locks of the week. Hello, James.
Hello, James.
Hey, guys. How you all doing? Yeah, I don't trust the Jets. And between Adam Gase and Greg Williams, there's not much going on there. Sam Darnold's talent is being wasted.
I think the Jets could win. The Raiders are still – notice how the Raiders beat the Bengals by 7 points. You know how many points the Bengals have been beaten by teams like the Ravens this year? Like, I don't know. I think the Raiders are perfectly capable of pitter-pattering around and not putting the Jets away, and Darnold winning the game in the fourth quarter.
I think it's possible too, because the Jets, if they do have one strong point, I'm pretty sure they lead the league in yards per carry given up against running backs, which is like low threes. And the Raiders are